Hi, I'm Luke, bike shop manager here with Competitive Cyclist. In today's Tech Tips video, we're going to be going over how to bleed Shimano hydraulic brakes. If your bite point is soft or your lever return is slow, it's a good sign that it's time to bleed your brakes. There's two ways you can go about a Shimano bleed. A cup bleed, which is a lever-only bleed, or a full system bleed. A cup bleed is if you just notice a little bit of softness and it's really quick and easy to just get a little bit of extra air out of your system. A full system bleed is recommended if you notice a lot of softness or if you haven't opened up your braking system in over a year, as Shimano mineral oil can get kind of dirty. The first thing you want to do is loosen your brake lever and orient it so the bleed port points straight up. Using a 2.5mm Allen key, remove the bleed port screw and make sure to save the O-ring that's on the end of the screw. If it looks worn out, replace that O-ring. Now we'll want to thread in the Shimano bleed cup. Remove the plunger and pour in a small amount of Shimano approved mineral oil. Next, grab your brake lever and squeeze it as you would normally when you're riding. Bubbles should begin to rise into the cup. Continue until no more bubbles rise. Then, carefully unscrew the bleed cup from the top of the lever. Replace the bleed screw and the O-ring. It's normal for a little bit of fluid to ooze out. Make sure to have a rag handy to wipe up any excess. Once your bleed port screw is installed and cleaned up, loosen the pinch bolt, rotate the lever to the normal riding position, and retighten the screw. So now, let's look at a full system bleed. The first step is to remove your wheel. The second step is to find the safety clip on your retaining pin for your brake pads. Use your needle nose pliers to remove that. Use your 2.5mm Allen key, or a 3 in some cases, to remove your brake pad pin. Once the pin is removed, pull your brake pads straight out from the top. Make sure to store your brake pads face up to make sure that the pad contact surface doesn't come in contact with any sort of oil. Install your bleed block. If the bleed block doesn't fit, you may need to press your pistons out using a plastic tire lever. Now, rotate your brake lever so the bleed port is facing straight up. Retighten the fastener just enough so it holds the brake lever in place. Then, remove your bleed port screw with a 2.5mm Allen key, making sure to save the O-ring. Thread in the Shimano bleed cup. Fill your syringe up about halfway with Shimano approved mineral oil. Then, add just enough Shimano oil to cover the hole at the bottom of the cup. Now, let's move on to attaching the syringe. Remove the rubber protective cap from the bleed nipple and install the hose at the end of the syringe. Crack open the bleed nipple with your 7mm open-end wrench. Draw up on the syringe to remove any air bubbles from the line. You might notice the fluid is going to be a black color. This is normal, and this is why we're doing this procedure. After you've done that, push upwards on the syringe and force the fluid up into the cup at the top of the lever. You'll notice the fluid is black. Keep pushing until you have almost no fluid left in the syringe. Plug the syringe and unthread it from the lever. Dispose of the fluid according to your local regulations. Repeat this process until the fluid coming into the cup is red again. Once that's done, close off your bleed nipple and remove the syringe. Remove the caliper block and reinstall your brake pads, taking care not to get any oil on the pad braking surface. This can cause contamination, which will lead to poor braking performance. Finally, reinstall your wheel. Pump your brake lever to advance the pistons to the proper position. If you have a nice firm bite point, you've successfully bled your brakes. Good job. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out to a gearhead today.